back in for our weekly recorded therapy session.
And some ASMR.
Welcome to another episode of Tales from the Service Industry.
I'm your host. I'm Bill. Tonight on the mics, we have Liz, Ms. B, and Gwen.
Hi, team. Before we start, in the nitty gritty, though, I've missed you guys. It has been a couple weeks since we've recorded. The listeners will not know that, but
We missed you too.
yeah, I'm officially a robot.
Yes.
Android.
Yeah.
Well, you have a chip in your neck, right?
Yes, or silicone plastic in my spine.
Can you
Let's
charge
be
a
real.
credit card with your neck? Beep.
You got microchips.
But yeah, I'm part artificial now.
I love that. So
Yeah.
how'd it go? Was it okay experience?
I don't think we got into it with the listeners of what I think we alluded to. I might be gone for a while,
No, we did.
but turns out I was never gone and I am still very much here.
She's alive.
I'm alive. So my recovery was shorter than I originally anticipated. I got an artificial disc replacement at C5, C6.
Nice.
Like, I was so elated to be there, and I was in such good spirits
Weirdo.
and giving
Right?
all of the good vibes to everyone I interacted with during the entire process.
Toxic positivity.
God.
We had
Nauseating.
spoken about this in the past, but
Oh,
yes, I was that person.
You are always that person, and it is annoying.
But yet we love it.
But imagine interacting with me in your workplace. Wouldn't that maybe not brighten your day, but
No.
it most certainly wouldn't make it worse.
Depends on the
Small
day.
doses.
Yeah.
I have all of the positivity in this room.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a week, man. And my week started on the weekend. So everyone on Mondays, happy Monday. I'm like, it's Wednesday.
It's my Wednesday. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. By Tuesday morning, I was over the week.
So over it. I was thankful I actually had Wednesday off in the middle of the week to kind of recuperate and get right back at it.
All right, well, you got a story from the week so far?
Bill, who wants to start it? How do you want to do this?
How about we start it off with an employee injury?
Oh,
Yes.
We'll just jump into that.
With both feet.
Yeah.
Plunge right in.
I will say right here, right now, for everyone listening, the number one thing that I hate, yes, that's hate. Sorry, Liz. People that need to use sharps and don't handle their sharps correctly.
Could not agree more.
Yeah.
Could not agree more.
I had an associate get a needle stick this week.
No.
So not like a bad, slice of thumb from a knife.
No, you
Nope.
get poked by
I
someone
would
else's
take
needle.
that.
Hypodermic
Really, a
syringe.
needle?
Yeah, that's really
Hypodermic
bad.
syringe.
Yikes.
There's so much steps to take after the fact for that.
Where was said needle, do you think?
In a room?
In the sheets.
In the couch.
No. Yes, it was in the
Okay.
room, but
I didn't know how specific we were getting.
no.
Towels.
A-hole threw it in the trash can.
Motherfucker.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Bleep me.
It's all right. Multiple sharps were found in the room afterwards, and the extent of a sharps container that he used was those super thin plastic water bottles. That's what he was using for a few of his sharps. And
So
we found
he put
those.
them in the water bottle.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Tried.
It's better
No,
than
no.
some.
There was only 3 of them in the water bottle. The others
Oh.
were on the desk,
Arrayed
in the trash
around.
can, and on the dresser.
What a dick.
Yes.
How long was he there
Or
for? How many
B. I
sharps
don't
were
know.
used?
Or A. Just let's call it an A.
Yeah.
Because I'm now
One day.
tallying at least 5.
One day.
Wow.
So the worst part of it is I'm like, oh, this mother effer. I grab the phone, pull up his account, and guess what? Phone
See
is
your rewards
disconnected.
number?
Of course it is.
Phone number disconnected. Email address.
Bounce
Bounce
right back.
You got it. No rewards number, so I can't even try and track him down another way.
What booking channel?
Direct.
Damn.
No opportunity. So I don't know if he was a drug user or a diabetic.
Of course. Yeah.
But, and then my associate so panicked. I mean,
And you have to get tested for a long time after.
Well, tested, treated.
Yeah.
There's a whole process to that.
For any non-hospitality or people who aren't familiar with that, you're getting tested for HIV. You're getting tested for the hepatitis one.
Yeah. The full panel. And then you have to go back, what is it, every 6 to 8 weeks?
Yeah.
Something like that.
like
to
that,
keep
yeah.
getting tested. You have to keep getting tested.
My
for a
hubs
while.
works in the medical field, so yes, I agree that it's also a service industry. Fully, with all my heart. And he had a patient spit in his eye.
yeah. I remember
And
that.
he had to go through that barrage for a while.
So, yeah, I think that was Tuesday. That was about when I tapped out for the week.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Is the employee
Yeah.
okay?
I mean,
Mentally.
no. Employees very stressed out.
Yeah.
Employees very worried.
Yeah.
And
Are
very
they coming
mad.
back to work?
Yes.
They're still showing up. Okay.
Yep.
But not mad at you guys though, right?
No, not mad at us, but still just mad. I mean, if using sharps is what keeps you alive and gets you through the day, carry your own sharps box. Dispose of them properly. Yeah. And you know what? Actually, if you are traveling and you need a sharps box at a hotel, just call. We have spare ones available. Put them in the right place.
That's so, because you remember we worked in a hotel together, and I didn't have much experience in housekeeping at that point, and we're walking rooms, and you were the one that like pointed out to me like where different ones could be, and I'd never even heard of that before. And you know
your hot
you
spots.
taught me about putting my knee on the sofa and pushing it like that to check for sharps on the sides,
Or step
because
on
I
it.
was just shoving my hand in it. You're like, for the love of God, and you told me never do that, and you showed me how to do it, and I'm like, oh.
And I bet he was so calm too.
You always
He's
kept
probably
us cool.
like, so I saw what you did there. Next time.
Stop.
So you want to know a messed up fun fact about that hotel in Sharps?
What?
Is that when I first got there, the Sharps container we had in housekeeping looked like an overstuffed pin cup.
Oh God.
Like there were sharps sticking out of the
Oh my God.
the disposal hole.
I
That's
just
terrifying.
imagine like a little styrofoam cup for some reason.
Pretty
like a
much.
pin
No.
cushion.
I'm talking about like I think it's a 2-gallon Sharps
okay.
box.
The ones
Okay.
that go on the wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
The red one.
And there was like
But it was very full.
there were syringes sticking out of
Oh my
Oh.
God.
the whole. It's like, especially when there's like like an embossed
Fill
line.
line?
Yeah, around about 2.5 inches below the
And
top
it's
of the neck.
overflowing.
Do not fill
Do you have
beyond
to
this
call,
point.
like a company to get those emptied?
No, so like we would buy a Sharps box through HD Supply. The way it works is you will receive a box, you open that box, and there's a box in the box. Open that box, and there's a Sharps
box.
container in that first or the second box. So you discard the first box because that's your exterior shipping. You retain the inner box. Your Sharps box that comes out, you can then put your full Sharps box in.
In
You
the box
see-
and
yeah.
like mail it somewhere? Or
Yeah.
throw-
So
dispose
you
of
seal it up in a bag, you tape it up, and then you ship it out for medical waste. And they're not inexpensive. So like a 2-gallon Sharps box, I think runs about $130. But it's not just the box. That's the shipping
disposal.
back and the disposal of the medical
Oh.
waste. Keeps people from getting stuck.
I was gonna say.
And
Well, not in this situation, clearly.
no, but if this guy would have called, then we would have just provided a small Sharps container for him to utilize. We're not going to charge you for it.
No, you're keeping our staff safe. Thank
Yes.
you.
Doggies don't care.
They don't care at all.
Nope.
Well, okay, so one of the rooms that the three of us were at, I think we were all working at the same point when the two guys overdosed.
Yep.
And when they took them out, and I've got photos, but they're not like, they'll get flagged on socials.
Of course.
But there were close to 30 Sharps in the room, and they had just gotten out of rehab the day before.
Wasn't that the room that I walked in with you and you you told me not to touch anything and like because I was starting moving, you're like don't touch anything and you pointed under the bed and we looked and there was a full needle on the ground under the bed filled with dark liquid.
Yeah, so that
And I
would have
was
been
like,
heroin.
I don't recall that.
I want to say they were on like the 3rd or 4th floor. One of the guys literally flatlined in the room, but Narcan brought him back.
Do you guys remember the one where this woman had tried to shoot up while she was driving, I presume?
Multitasking.
And had passed out
Oh.
midst exiting the parking structure, and her car just went right up against the wall, and she's just passed out in the seat.
No, I don't
thanks.
remember-
Was it? Did you
I don't
see it
remember that.
actively rolling?
Not at that point. No, I just assumed because when the police got there, like the vehicle was still in drive. So I can only imagine, like she had to get.
You can deduct.
Yeah, I can.
damn.
Yeah, that was fun.
No thanks.
My favorite parking structure story at that hotel was the guy that got chased out of there trying to break into a car. So he went running out the side exit, tried to jump over the hedge, clipped his foot, and it took him like face first right into the sidewalk.
I don't remember that one. I remember the guy that hopped the what do they call those concrete barriers in a parking spot?
I know
Oh,
what
those.
you're
Slab of
talking about.
concrete.
To be
curb?
labeled a nerd, it's called a wheel stop.
Stop.
Of course.
Nerd.
Coming in for the kill. Anyways, I saw it on camera. Somebody had reported that their vehicle was stolen. So we were like, check the cameras. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's between this time. We're watching all the cameras. And all of a sudden, we just see the vehicle quickly back out, go down all of the levels, and then just kept going straight over the wheel stop and just jumped out right on that main boulevard and kept going in the vehicle.
The person that stole it?
Yeah.
Or Oh.
Yeah.
What kind
Wild.
of vehicle was it? Big, small?
It was black and it was economic. So
Okay, smaller.
And it had a greatly reduced value.
After that.
But I mean, I gotta tell you, I drive a very tiny vehicle, and I have gone over one wheel stop in my driving history. And
think
it
we're all using
scared me so much. I thought I broke my car. Like I thought
you probably did.
I thought I was done for. And I had to make the decision because your front wheel goes over it, and you're like, shit.
Do I keep going?
Do I keep going?
commit?
Do I keep going in drive or do I reverse?
Yeah. Do
And
I
in
do
that
more
point,
damage?
in that point, I was like, well, my car has more room from, the car to ground on the back. So I just kept going.
That's what I would do.
I'd commit.
I fully had it. Well, I committed very slow, but I had to give it some gas to get over the wheel stop. I'm going to use that term.
You're
now.
welcome.
Added to my vocabulary.
You're welcome.
Nerds.
But those are like scary. Have you ever gone over one in your car?
Not unintentionally, no.
But intentionally?
Yes.
Oh.
You've gone over that?
Yeah.
In your car?
Not
a boy.
not
Was
in
it a
my current car, no.
Or was it like a raised vehicle? Was
No, it was
a
Jeeps
truck
and
or
trucks.
SUV? Oh, okay. It doesn't count.
Yeah, if I was driving
Oh,
like a
that wasn't part of the
four-wheel
question.
drive, like lifted, I would be like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going.
That was a very blanket question. I'll give it to
Yeah, you weren't.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gwen, you?
you. The curbs find me.
Got it.
I'm that person.
Feels.
Miss Me,
They
The
jump
curbs
out
have
in front
found-
of her all the time.
They come out of nowhere.
you've gone over the wheel stop,
I don't know if I've done that.
but you've clipped a few curbs.
Oh, absolutely.
This week, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also getting into parking spaces, if it's like a side parking space, I forking suck at that. I get up on that curb and I'm always like, damn it, cursing in my car.
I recently saw you parallel park, though, and that was phenom.
Sponsored by a backup cam. Impossible without one.
I have heard you in the
Can't.
past say, I still have trouble even though I have a backup camera.
Oh, absolutely.
And it
Liz
was,
may have been there coaching me. You can go back a little further. You can go forward.
I was there just cheering her on. Yeah,
Were,
good
were you
job.
on the sidewalk cheering her on and
at a
guiding
safe
her
distance. At
She
a
was
safe
she was
distance.
behind her with those like
I was
airport.
I was a good 12 feet away. Also, my dog was with me, and she's
Safety.
very small. She's
Safety
very
first.
wheel height, if you know what I'm saying. So I wanted to keep her away from the car too, not because of your driving.
I love that.
Maybe because of your driving.
Could have been both. All right, guys. Now I have a serious question. Now this is for someone who's in the hospitality industry. You'll go last. But then I want to ask you a question as a mother, because there's a mom here in the room.
Okay.
And then I want to ask you a question
As not a mother,
as not a mother, and put yourself out of the mind of a hospitality professional. So just
I'm a normal old gal.
neutral.
a normal gal. Okay. How responsible should a hotel be for, let's say, you need a pack and play for your kid? How much should you rely on a hotel to provide that for you, and what level of responsibility do they have to have one for you when you arrive?
I have pre-questions.
Yeah.
How high of level is this hotel?
That's a good question. Definitely a hotel, probably mid-scale.
Mid-scale. Okay.
Yeah, we're not talking high end. Mid-scale.
And devil's advocate here. How far have I been traveling?
No idea.
Did I take a plane? A bus?
Doesn't matter.
That was going to be a question for me too.
A car?
How are you getting there? Are you driving in?
Doesn't
You flying?
matter. How much responsibility does the hotel have to
Okay.
have that for you?
Okay.
If you want to ask a pre-qualifier, did this person call to make sure that they had one?
Yeah, that was another one of my questions.
No.
They did not call.
No.
They did not ask.
They saw on the website that pack and plays are at that hotel.
Available upon request is what they probably saw on,
Yes.
on a website.
So how responsible should a hotel be to have that? And if they don't have that, what do you think the hotel should do?
So as a person without child, I honestly think it's kind of 50-50. The hotel, yes, available upon request, just like early check-in, late checkout. It's kind of the same thing. It's upon request. You need to ask the question, and the hotel has the right to say, unfortunately, we don't have that available for you. It's a request. There is all of the big box retailers, you can order one for pickup. You don't even have to go in the store.
Yeah.
So even if the hotel, or even if the hotel was a jerk and was like, no, we don't, there are other avenues to get a pack and play for your child.
Okay. That's a really good point.
Oh, Gwen, here we go.
Thank you. I was like, Gwen, what are your opinions on this?
I think as a parent, it's 100% your responsibility, and you can't blame anybody else for your own shortcomings.
I do agree.
It's your responsibility.
So wait, let's play devil's advocate. Let's say you called ahead and you asked, does the hotel have pack and plays? And they said, yeah, we have them.
First of all, seeing mini pack and plays. As a parent, if I'm going to travel with my kid, which I have done numerous times, it's on me. Why would I put the responsibility of my child on somebody else?
So absolutely.
I'm off my pedestal. Sorry.
Now,
Passionate.
now, Bill, from a hospitality professional, what responsibility does a hotel have to provide that to a guest?
A hotel that I worked at this is before all of you, their policy was 5 cribs or 5 pack and plays. It was a 200-room hotel and it was family oriented.
Oh,
It didn't go over well.
I'm sure.
The thing that would irritate me is the number of guests that we would have that would want multiples.
Oh my God.
Even though we're explaining that we can provide you
Yeah.
one. And people that would lose their mind saying, no, I need 2 or 3.
At that point, I'd just be like, yeah, that's a fire safety
Fire
hazard.
safety, that was
the
my
square
first
footage of
thought.
the room does not allow for that.
Yeah, and it goes over the same as when you tell people they can't have a rollaway bed in their room with their two queens.
Ugh.
You know, so there's that. And then there was like the disparaging aspect where you provide it and it becomes a service issue because people have the opinion of, I've got so much better at home. I can't put my child in this.
I'm not the parent here.
Yeah, then there's a Target across the street.
Yep.
Please, hustle.
Thank you.
Yep.
But that's frowned upon.
So I absolutely love and appreciate all your responses. And I feel like they were all right on the nose for how I personally feel. So this weekend, we had multiple sports groups. So we had a lot of young kids. We had a lot of families. The entire hotel was filled with sports kids and their families. And we
Varying ages?
varying ages, but mostly younger. So this was not college age, or not even high school age. It's all younger. And we have sports groups all the time. And I've been there just over a year now, a year and a month. This was the worst sports weekend I've ever experienced, but also my entire team. Multiple team members were brought to tears over the weekend. And one person almost quit.
What?
Literally. I've never had such a bad weekend with just horrible, horrible guests. And just the level of entitlement was insane. But in one particular instance, I got called because a lady was losing her damn mind at the desk, screaming at the desk agent, banging her fists on the counter because she needed a pack and play. And we explained that it is Saturday night. All guests have arrived and we are now out of pack and plays. And she said, that is absolutely unacceptable. Where is my child supposed to sleep? And the agent was like, I'm sorry, ma'am, but we have pack and plays, but they are just all taken this weekend. It's a holiday weekend. We ran out. Losing her mind, screaming at the agent, demanding to speak to the manager. The supervisor goes to talk to her. She belittles him. She screams at him. She calls him incompetent. And then it was like, well, you at least should send me a rollaway. And then he had to tell her, we don't have rollaways in our hotel. She was losing her mind and screaming so bad. One of the agents actually filmed it. And we're not going to share that today. But I got to hear it because they said, you have to hear this. And they texted it to me. And I was like, that is insane. Like, I feel like sometimes agents just think, like, she's not going to believe how crazy this lady was. So they recorded it, like, the camera facing up, her screaming at this poor supervisor. And you could tell he's just starting to break at some point. And then, because she kept asking the same questions, like, where's my kid supposed to sleep? Where is my kid supposed to sleep? And he said, I'm not her parent. That's going to be up to you. And he's like, this is what we're able to do. And he's like, I'm happy to provide you extra blankets and pillows, but we do not have any more cribs. So the agent calls me freaking out. She's like, should I go to Target? Should I pick up a pack and play? And I said, absolutely not.
Do you know how old the child was?
No.
Oh.
I have no idea. But by the way, this lady never called. There's no notes on the reservation. She never requested a pack and play. She never told us that.
Can you request and like put one like in the room like ahead of time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's like requesting extra pillows or
availability.
yeah, if you call and be like,
Right.
we're going to be checking in later Saturday evening. We're going to need
Can
a
I
pack and play.
request
Can
a
we have
pack
that set in the room before? Yeah, absolutely. But there was no calling ahead. No, she just expected that we would have it and then was utterly enraged that we did not have it. And so I told the agent, no, I don't want you going to Target. Like, one, you're an hourly employee. You can't be driving up to
you can't
Target
do
while
that.
on the job.
Right.
Second,
and spending your own money. Like,
yes. And second, there was that part of me that is, you were being so rude and unbelievably abominable to my staff. No, you can suck it. So I was pissed.
I would have maybe told the agent like, suggest another hotel for them.
Yeah. Well,
Here's the door.
you know what's funny?
Yeah.
She said, she's like, should I say someplace else? And I told them, I said, tell her absolutely yes. Say, these are your 3 options. Option A, you can stay here and you can go to your room and you can figure out a sleeping situation. I'll send some extra pillows, blankets, whatever you need to your room.
Yeah.
Option 2, you can go to Target or Walmart.
Yes. Thank
And
you.
go get a pack and play. And I told this to the agent on the phone. I said, I stayed at a hotel. Well, guess what? I traveled. I did not check if they had a pack and play in advance. I got there. I said, hey, can I get a pack and play sent to my room? They said, we don't have any. I went, oh, darn. I got to go buy one now. Like, at no point was I upset.
No. That's the sane response to
At
have.
no point was that their
This poor
responsibility.
person in front of you, the stranger's
No.
responsibility.
I'm the child's mother. I didn't prepare enough in advance. I didn't make sure those. And it's like, she has to sleep. And I know she won't sleep in a bed next to me. So I went to Target and I bought a pack and play.
Yeah.
You know? But at no point in my brain did I think it was the hotel's fault. And so this woman can figure it out. But she still ended up screaming in the lobby for a long time. So the
What's option C?
Oh, yes. Option C, GTFO. You can stay someplace else and we will waive your cancellation fee. Yeah. Please leave.
Yeah, like just
100%.
get out.
But she chose hidden option D.
Sounds like she needed the D.
She really did, man.
That's how the kid.
I was
arrived.
gonna say maybe she doesn't need it anymore. Like,
Right.
jeez.
Maybe she just doesn't get it anymore because of said child, and maybe
or
she
because
does
of
need
her
it.
monstrous personality.
What's her name? Karen.
Yeah, seriously. This woman and all the people with this group were this cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She was just one.
So that woman was part of the same sports
Yes.
groups?
Interestingly enough, remember how I told you there was multiple sports groups and lots of different teams because they're all competing in
And the
tournaments?
parents were all competing at the bar?
How did you know?
Yeah,
Oh, you must have seen my recent TikTok.
that's what they do.
That's the
Yeah,
MO.
that's MO.
So all the parents were a nightmare, but there was one group in particular. Because, you know, the loudest ones, the ones that are just making hell, we looked up their teams. They were all on the same team
yeah,
from the same city.
yeah.
Shocking.
Were they competing at the convention center?
No, it was
No.
probably
See,
like
I would
Press
be-
Light.
I
I would be
No,
like,
there's a
it's probably
giant
like
sports
press-
park out there.
Yeah, there's a big sports park.
I'm so like sports neurotic. I'd be like, oh, how are you doing?
Guys, this is how bad it
Personal
was.
connection.
The team was praying they were losing.
Why?
Because then they forking leave.
Oh yeah,
And if they win, they keep staying.
yeah.
Oh, your team was praying.
Oh, my team was praying for
Okay.
big fat losses.
because if you win, you're typically like the last to play in the tournament.
So I have an excerpt from my supervisor's MOD email.
Ooh,
Yes.
love this. Rambunctious group.
Quote unquote. So let me start off by saying this. I believe the team has handled this group and weekend exceptionally well. These soccer, hockey, lacrosse, badminton, or whatever the hell sports parents and children have been absolutely terrible. Not all, but for sure 98%. The parents have been extremely intoxicated, demanding, and incredibly rude, while the children have been making their hotel their personal McDonald's playhouse and kicking on guest doors like common hoodlums from a Charles Dickens novel.
Has he never worked in a hotel before?
But
This is just normal for sports teams.
Yeah,
like intoxicated
this is
parents.
normal.
He's clearly taking creative writing classes.
in
I
the
mean,
hospitality justice system, these guests are represented by 2 separate but equal groups who investigate the complaints and the hotel service agents who are specially trained to fix the complaints. These are their stories.
Dun, dun, dun.
No.
Wait,
So
wait. Was the whole email like?
And then it goes on for pages. So that was the beginning, and he's saying this is their stories.
These
and
are
then
their stories.
pages
These are their
of
stories.
incidents and issues.
The names have been changed to protect them.
Yeah.
I love that.
I peed laughing so hard at this email, and
Can I
every
reread it a little bit?
yes, wait, yes,
Well, I mean, you know what this is? This is somebody that is at that point where they're either
Wit's
going to quit
end. Yes,
or they have to embrace it, lean into the insanity, and try and have some fun with it.
oh, but no, everyone's pass-ons were basically like, F these kids, this is insane, and then the gifs and the memes started. That was the worst weekend ever, and I have more stories. That was just one.
So, okay, I have a question for you on this.
Shoot.
Has all of this been relayed back to the salesperson that booked it?
Oh, yeah. During stand-up on Monday morning, we were all beat. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you got taken out back and literally
You're
beat up.
wounded.
And you come to stand-up Monday morning, you're like, we've made it. We're like almost delusional and like
We
hungover.
survived.
And we go around And my boss was fully like, it's been a really hard weekend. Everyone came together, like kind of like that. The sales manager took it personally.
So what did you do to protect us then? If you warned us, what did you do to protect us?
Her, who, was out all weekend. The ops team who's sitting there looking at her
Phone
like, are you
off.
forking kidding? And so it went around and all the ops managers just like were trying not to say anything, but they were pissed. So it got to me, and you guys know I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut.
What filter? What?
But I filtered it a little bit. And I said, yes, thank you, by the way, for warning us how busy it was going to be. But despite that, no amount of preparation could have ever prepared anyone for the level of nasty that these humans were. Our team dealt with it in an amazing way. Sure, there's always something we could do better next time, but busy does not mean these guests are going to treat our team the way they did. And she just
did you make it clear that group was not welcome back?
Is that your decision to make, though? Sorry.
It's not mine.
Okay.
As much as I want to say Beverly Hills is banned from our property, it's not mine.
I think you're sold out for their next weekend they want to book.
Seriously. But the problem is...
I would disagree with you on that.
Really?
I would be honest with them. Your salesperson should go back to them, let them know that their behavior was unacceptable.
Yep.
This is why.
Yep.
Here are the reasons. It's very clear cut. As much as we appreciate your business this year, I need to let you know that we will not be accepting your contract on future stays. Period.
And I'm
this
trying
is why.
to push for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do not do that, not only are you doing a disservice to your entire team, but you're actually doing a disservice to every other hotel that they may very well go to.
You're
True.
fueling the
Well,
beast.
and the other guests in your hotel as well that have to deal with all the noise and the kids.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say that. What do the other guests have to say?
Okay, but here's the problem with all of this. And for folks that are in sales that listen to the show, I apologize in advance. But, we've joked about it in the past, and I will forever joke about it in the future, that sales sells the dream and ops lives the nightmare.
Ops lives the
Okay?
nightmare. I knew it.
This
And
entire
coming.
time
I'm going to get a tattoo on me.
Yes.
I've been trying to think of that phrase because I'm like, this is it. This is it.
And look,
Yes.
I understand that it rubs every single salesperson the wrong way. We'll loop back to this, but we had a salesperson that I said that to that lost her ish. So we'll loop back to that at some point. But here's the problem.
Musical instruments.
Musical instruments?
We talked about this. Remember that one salesperson? We took on a group that makes medical instruments, and she swore by the life of her they were bringing in musical instruments. And I said, I have a friend that works for my company. I'm pretty sure it's not musical. She's like, yes, it is. And then they were making all these plans for noise.
We're thinking about?
But you told the story.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that wasn't the one I was thinking.
Oh.
Okay.
You were thinking of the furries?
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Anyway,
Anywho,
so here's the problem. And I hate to sound callous about it, but they're looking at their sales goals.
yeah.
Yep. Do they get their bonus?
They're looking at the
In
numbers.
large part, that allure of I can bring in a single group for 15 rooms, 20 rooms, whatever it is at X rate, 20% of my monthly requirement. Boom.
Yeah.
That's really tough for people to pass up. But when it comes down to the bad behavior where you have such an impact to your team, you've got an impact to the rest of the guests at the hotel, you have an impact to the hotel.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be interested to know what your
guys,
compensation and damages and everything
it goes
were for
on.
this.
But besides the fact of just bad behavior, plus this group incessantly drank in the lobby their own alcohol.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
And my security was acting like a freaking principal, being like, you can't drink that. You need to go up to your room. Like, acting like that. And
They
the
were
parents
being authoritative, though?
Yeah. And their
parents were hiding
it. At one point, my security officer walked outside. She was pouring a bottle of wine into a Stanley. And he looked at her. She looked at him. And she's like, what? And he's like, no, up to your room. Dump it. Like, literally being authoritative. And they're sneaking it in like red Solo cups. And he's like, nope, no Solo cups in the lobby.
Sneaking and red Solo is not.
Literally. And we're like, if you don't sell it in this restaurant, you're not allowed to consume it. But they were blatantly disrespectful and ignored it. At one point, everyone's doing it. He's told everyone to stop and they're refusing to. People were trying to slip him money. They're like, can you just not? They were bribing him to not. And he's like, no.
Did your salespeople include a behavior
Contract.
I guarantee they probably did it.
Like,
guarantee
did
they
you guys
did it.
do pre-arrival drop letters?
No. Well, okay, keep in mind, we have sports teams all the time. This has never been a thing like this.
Yeah, but
So if you have
I mean,
them all
parents-
the time, you should have that.
But like parents,
We've never had an issue.
Parents
They're
always get rowdy, but you have to
not that rowdy.
But I mean, I played sports my entire life, and we had a group of parents at one point. They were the rowdy people, but they always did it in a respectful way. Did they sneak alcohol down to the lobby? Yeah, they did.
I'm sorry, I would.
But
And I'm a responsible
but they were
parent.
also consuming enough from the hotel bar that it wasn't as obvious. I've got one story in particular from like a national tournament. We had parents bring a margarita machine, and they set it up down by the pool.
Yes,
That's where my
for
story
that.
was going next.
Shut up!
No.
Sorry. They
One-
brought a margarita machine?
Brought a blender down to
No.
the bar.
I'm talking about a commercial margarita machine.
Oh my God. No, she brought a blender down and was told to take it upstairs. Like they were throwing grown adult tantrums, trying to do all this in the lobby. And at one point, so this is Saturday night, it's just getting out of hand. And there's other guests trying to come in to enjoy the bar. They've taken all the chairs out of the bar into the common lobby area. The bar supervisor is being like, you can't do that. This is part of the bar. This is for paying patrons who are sitting at the bar.
That's so funny.
Then it's like 10 o'clock at night. They're coming over and asking for cups because they're pouring their own drinks.
Can I have
And
a water
they
cup?
given a few. They're like, oh, my kid
Can I
just
have a
wants
water cup?
My kid just needs a cup for some water. And they're like, okay. Oh, well, can I have two more? Their kids. And then they keep getting cups. And at one point, the bar supervisor was like, no, we're done. Say, unless you guys are going to purchase something, there's no more cups. And she's like, really? You're going to deprive me of a cup for my daughter? They're like, ma'am, I can see the blender over there. And I know. And I was like, you are consuming alcohol that's not purchased from here, which, by the way, you're not allowed to do. You can't take any more cups. And then there was an incident, which I will read about shortly. But it was so out of hand, and everyone was just trying to rein it in. But these parents just took no for an answer, to the fact that they're calling in. Finally, at 11 o'clock at night, the GM is saying, call the police to come in to handle this situation. And so the security guard came in and said, you guys have refused to listen to anything I've said. It is now 11 o'clock at night. The police are on their way. So whoever would like to stay here and get arrested for public intoxication, by all means. Otherwise, if you want to disperse up to your rooms, this restaurant is closed, and anyone who continues to stay here will be trespassing. And then they
Damn.
started to disperse.
see, honestly, I wouldn't even have told them the cops are on the way.
They wouldn't have listened otherwise.
No, I would have waited until the
Would've
cops showed
waited.
up.
Oh, I was like, they
Yeah.
wouldn't have listened.
No, I would have just waited for the cops to show up. You play stupid games, you earn stupid prizes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If I was there, I might have done it.
Well, and here's the other aspect. How many rooms are you talking?
20 rooms?
See,
For how many nights?
3 to 4.
the last time I had to have a conversation with a guest that was being obnoxious, I laid it out as such. And that is that I've got 160 some rooms at this hotel. You are one room causing problems. Do I A, ask you to stop your behavior? And if you don't, I ask you to leave. Or B, allow you to stay and piss off everybody around you.
Yeah.
I wish you were my GM.
I just don't put up with it.
Love it.
I know I miss working together sometimes.
It's just nonsense.
But you put it like so eloquently.
I know.
Yeah. But for any of the parents out there listening that have young children that are a part of these
Traveling
teams,
sports teams. Yep.
for anything, large groups with a lot of children, do you know how you get away from this? You have one person that is willing to pay for a suite. So it is a large room, and that's the party room.
Well, we're no party
Still
hotel. We
gonna
gotta shut
shut
that
you down.
No, for sure, but that's what I have done now. It's like if I'm ever traveling in large
Designate
groups,
an area.
we designate a room. We don't get, by no means do I get rowdy. Like, let's be real. Even in my like prime time coaching water polo,
Well, should
We-
we revert back to asking grandma?
this is in my early. This is in my early 20s, though. This is in my early 20s. We had one parent that's like, "Nope, I have the cooler. I have the drinks. Come hang out in my room." We didn't get rowdy. We probably got like one noise complaint in like my 5
Yeah,
years
you
of
guys
coaching.
were not this group.
There's a difference between a hang and let's tear it
Yeah,
up.
true.
Yeah. So we sent departure emails in the morning to try to get some of the, if somebody had a bad experience and maybe we didn't catch them before they left, then we could try to remedy some of these situations. And the morning of the major departure, I literally
How
looked.
many nasty responses?
Oh, they were almost all. But I looked at my assistant manager and I was like, should we even send the email?
No.
And she's like,
Answer's no.
because I was like, I don't think we should do it. She's like, we have to. She's like, that way maybe they can get it out yelling at us instead of on a survey. I'm like, yeah, okay. I just didn't have the mental capacity to, I'm like, I can't do this. And so I was like, all right, send it. We hit send. And just the rest of the day was just the emails. But I wanted to read you guys one.
Ooh.
If you would like to hear it.
Yes.
I won't do the beginning that, basically
Dun, dun.
it says hello to the brand. I am a Blueberry member. Telling you how important they
They're
are.
peacocking.
Okay.
Yep.
I rarely bother to comment on my hotel experiences, but unfortunately, I feel compelled to share an incident that occurred during my stay at your establishment. My family and I were in for a 10-year-old boys soccer tournament. Okay, now we have the answer.
Okay.
For a 10-year-old boys soccer tournament, accompanied by our entire team and their families. On Sunday evening, while at the hotel bar, we encountered an utterly frustrating situation. Despite our repeated attempts on 5 separate occasions to simply request a paper cup, we were met with refusal by your unhelpful staff.
The nerve.
Can you believe it? ? We were denied a single paper cup for a 5-year-old who needed hot water for a sore throat. After being turned down by 3 different staff members, I finally took matters into my own hands and grabbed an empty paper cup from behind the bar. But what happens next was truly absurd. Instead of addressing our legitimate need, I was immediately accosted by 3 of your staff members
Accosted.
and demanding I return the paper cup. In a moment of frustration and disbelief, I resorted to an action I'm not proud of. I licked the paper cup and defiantly declared it mine. Yet, despite the lack of any intoxication on my part, I was promptly ejected from the bar by the bartender for this minor infraction.
At what time do you have your 5-year-old in a bar? 11 p.m. is it?
Past
Exactly.
their bedtime.
Yeah.
Why is intoxication being brought up? Like, nobody said anything
wonder.
about that.
And she said she was not intoxicated at all.
No, they weren't making margaritas in the lobby.
Why
That's
would she even
hilarious.
think to bring that up?
And I love her level of maturity of licking the cup so she can't take
my
it back.
God.
And she was
Gosh.
stone cold sober doing that.
No.
By the way, reaching into the bar and grabbing stuff from behind the bar, and the bar staff were like, "You can't go into the bar. I need a cup." Licks it, and everyone's just like, "What the actual?"
Did you get the statement from the bartender?
Oh yeah.
Did
That-
you get
What
it
about the
on
video?
I am sure there's video. Did
Pull
I?
up the tapes.
I'm gonna go look for it. But
That was always my favorite part.
when I asked them about this, they're like, dude, this woman was wasted in the bar making margaritas with her own blender. We repeatedly told her multiple times she can't, and she just kept hiding it and bringing it back out.
How do you hide a blender?
I don't freaking know.
In a stroller?
And then the next morning,
How many kids did she have?
well, they had a mob. And by the way, they had so much alcohol. They were drinking so much. The kids were sneaking bottles. The security guard caught them taking swigs out of a tequila
like
bottle
parent, like
and took the
child.
bottle away. And then the next morning, they're all hungover as shit, hanging out in the lobby.
Children or the parents?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody. The same person, the cup licker, she brought the blender down and was making breakfast smoothies for everybody, asking again for more paper cups so she could give out the smoothies she was making. And they looked at her and was like, absolutely not.
Well,
no,
why does
that's
the
a
blender need to
safety.
come down to the lobby at all?
I don't know.
But I'm sorry, is she just like in the corner with an outlet on like a side table?
Basically, yes. And
Who wants kale?
it's literally just like, that
it's
because,
fucking Jamba Juice.
guys, literally.
We have an 8-minute wait.
And that bar in the morning turns into Starbucks. So people are lined up to get Starbucks, hearing a blender going on in the lobby, turning around and looking. And the baristas are just like, they don't know what to do. They're like, we've already told her to stop. And the guests are looking at them like, oh my God.
And this is probably like fairly early in the morning because they probably have
Yes.
early games.
Yeah. So it's a great weekend.
Okay. So, Ms. B,
Yeah.
on the heels of such a wonderfully written letter that is 100% accurate, I wanted to share a little review that I got and see if we can make this a bit of a game.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, so I got a review and I read the review and then I saw the score.
Okay.
And I thought it might be kind of fun. Read the review to you guys, get your opinions on what that score might be, and maybe discuss it a little bit.
All right.
This guest stayed with us for a total of one night.
Okay.
So the review said, checked in, was given rooms on second floor, away from elevator, not at all in line with my request.
Was this multiple rooms?
Yes.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think that...
Is
This
Is that
review.
all they
That's
said?
the whole review?
Oh, yeah, you were expecting more?
Yeah.
No, that's it.
We had
Okay.
two
Oh.
novels over here.
No.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
1 out of 10.
So
I was
checked
gonna say,
in.
are we doing out of 10 or out of 5?
So this is on a 10 scale.
Okay.
And again, checked in, was given 2 rooms on second floor, away from elevator, not all in line with my request.
Okay.
It was nothing but negative. It has to be 1 out of 10.
I have a follow-up.
Yes.
Did they actually request a room close to the elevator?
Yes.
They did.
Okay, so a little background on the story.
Thank
In
you.
fairness, before we offer our opinions on the score, guest had 2 rooms on the reservation. One was a king, one was queen's. Wanted to have the rooms near each other and near the elevator.
That's difficult for you.
It is. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, especially at my hotel, because whoever laid out the room
Close
types,
together,
terrible
yeah.
design. We were able to get a queen next to a king, 2 doors down from the elevator.
Oh my god.
God.
Nowhere near.
We're talking a distance maybe 25 feet,
That's crazy.
like
They
hard
wanted
stop
to
on
be
30 feet.
across the
Hugging
elevator.
the elevator.
They wanted to hear the elevator from the wall.
The elevator.
Okay, Miss B, you're,
1 out
are you
of
sticking
10.
with 1?
Yeah.
Okay, Gwen.
I hear that anger.
4.
Okay.
Oh, I'll go devil's advocate. I think they gave you an 8 out of 10.
For nothing but negative comments.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Okay, so you're going with just like
I like that theory because the review doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because they gave us a 1 out of 10.
Shut up!
There you go.
Even though they booked a king and a queen, they requested them to be side by side,
And you
which we
accommodated that.
accommodated. They requested being near the elevator.
You did the best you could.
that
Literally,
is near an elevator.
they were the 3rd and 4th room on the hallway from the elevator.
You literally gave them everything they asked for.
Yes.
Yeah, the review
Okay.
doesn't make sense. Knowing the backstory,
But they were 2 doors down from the elevator.
they wanted right next door. How dare you? Horrible hotel. 1 out of 10.
1 point for Miss B.
There you go.
You bet I'm turning this into a competition.
That's
what I do.
We need a tally board over
Yes,
here.
we do.
Ooh, yeah, we do.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
All right, next time we'll get a tally board.
Like, okay, but like, what was the conversation at front desk? Like, did they explain to them, like, okay, we received your request, we looked at everything, and you got property maps. Here's what we're looking at right now.
Yeah. Is this okay
Was
with
that
you?
explained?
So I don't know.
Okay.
I wasn't there.
But did you
In-
talk to the agent yet or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
We don't talk to them.
Well, he's probably pulling from the archives for this.
No, this was February 18th.
Within a week of recording.
Yes. So looking at the profile, everything was there for the requests. I can see that the agent blocked the room. I can see all of it. I don't understand why it is that you had a request for 2 different room types side by side. We fulfilled it. You had a request for a room near the elevators.
We
fulfilled
fulfilled
it.
it.
Why am I getting a 1 out of 10? It doesn't
Yeah,
make sense.
yeah. If you're the manager looking at this, you're like, oh, good job.
Go
Team did good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guest doesn't get that, though.
A 1?
Okay. I've got one more that I can share with you.
Yes.
So this review is not from my hotel, but here's the review. Had stains on the carpet. Room had a funny smell when I first came in. There's no microwave, no coffee, but the room does have a small refrigerator, which didn't work.
Oh my God.
The room I had was a large suite, had a king bed, no USB to charge our phones. Room is dated, furniture has chips, shades on lamps were crooked and broken, headboard is not centered with the bed.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Negative, Nancy.
Hearing those items, what would you think this reviewer gave that hotel?
Just because I want to be different from my last guess, 2 out of 10.
And I should say this is on a 5 scale.
Oh. 1 out of 5.
I mean, wouldn't be a bad thing, right? So on a 5 scale, what would you give it?
1.
No, probably a 2 or 3.
Gwen?
I always feel like these are trick questions.
They're meant to be.
Well, they are kind of trick questions because people don't know how to actually rate hotels.
No. Is this on a public website? Is that why it's out of 5
Yes.
stars?
I was going to say 4, just to be different. I'm going to pull a Ms. B card.
So a 1, a 2,
Okay.
and a 4?
Uh-huh.
3 stars.
I said
what the?
I said 2 or 3. I said 2 or 3. Gwen? I said 2 or 3.
I heard you.
My God.
We'll have to loop back with the judges on the recording.
Win for Liz.
Like with the first guy, he had requests. We fulfilled the request to the T. 1 out of 10, not warranted. Now, maybe there was something else But if there was something else that was that significant to take your score to a 1 out of 10, I don't know. That's something worthy to bring to the front desk.
Yeah.
I think what a lot of people don't understand is what's within our control and what's not in our control.
Everything's your fault.
Yeah, I think that's pretty valid. But I also think that the other thing is that people don't understand how to fill out surveys because they don't understand hotel ratings in the first place.
Yes, if it's a review straight from the hotel, like on their system, they have no idea. Saying a 7 out of 10 is failing.
Back up a little bit further. So if you were an organization like AAA and you rate a hotel as a 3, 4, 5-star hotel, that rating, what does that actually mean?
AAA, I don't know.
She's like, I only know Forbes.
Okay, well,
Forbes, on the other hand.
I know, right?
that's fine. But conceptually, it's the same thing. Their criteria
They
may
give
be
3
different.
stars.
Forbes?
AAA.
AAA. Yeah. They'll give 1 and 2 stars.
But are you bragging about a 1-star?
You may very
Putting it
well.
in your sticker film.
Depending
No.
Depending on. Yeah,
You may
might.
very well brag about your
you
1-star
might.
hotel
You might.
because what do the stars actually mean? I mean, you could have a very tiny boutique hotel that technically could be a 1-star hotel because you do not have a swimming pool. You do not have certain amenities at the property.
Right. Yes.
But on, let's say...
Spa, coffee shop.
Right. But then you have like an OTA website that has 1 through 5, and that's not the amenities of the hotel. That's a customer experience rating. So you could have a
OTA.
1-star property with a 5-star reputation.
OTA.
Oh, sorry. Online travel agent.
Thank you.
So that would be your Expedia,
Google, your
Booking.com.
TripAdvisor, Yelp.
No. Those are review sites.
Booking channels.
Sorry.
So many different things.
Third-party booking channels.
Yeah. So OTA, online travel agent.
Okay.
So that's Expedia, Booking.com, Agoda, Priceline. All of those are OTAs.
OTA. Got it.
Things
and
like-
then what would be the Google, the TripAdvisor, the Yelp?
Those are review sites. Now, you
fair
have,
enough.
like with Google and TripAdvisor, you do not have a gatekeeper. So if you booked through Expedia, you could give a negative review to the hotel directly if you received a survey from the hotel.
Right.
You could give a negative review or, a positive review as well through the booking channel. And then you can also go in and you can leave a review on a website like TripAdvisor. So theoretically, right there, you've got 3 channels to provide feedback to the hotel. The hotel has no control over any of it.
No. Okay. I have one.
Ooh, lay it on us.
Okay. So I am going to kind of breeze through this because this is a returning review. So it's an update from a few years ago. Haven't been back here since the pandemic, but stayed here this week. Done a lot to the rooms, and being a Raspberry member, I was upgraded to blah, blah, blah level floor where the rooms were newly refurbished. Everything looks great, and customer service at the desk was great. Couple of issues I have. The message on the air conditioner shows not to set it below 69 degrees, which is ridiculous. I'm someone who sleeps with 65-degree temps, so that doesn't work for me. They should have a system that allows AC to function well at lower temperatures. I understand saving energy, but I'm not going to sleep comfortably at the hotel. Also, I have noticed less and less benefits for Raspberry members since the pandemic. No more special lounges at this location, and only a $15 meal credit, which is not helpful given that there is only one restaurant open for dinner and it's a bar with bar food. The lounge was great with great benefits that we experienced. Other than that, it's in a location. Parking is free. Lobby is nice with Starbucks. Big thing for me is soft sheets, and they were great. I will stay here again for sure.
9 out of 10.
Fairly positive then.
Wait, what's the scale? 10 or 5?
5.
2 out of 5.
2.
4.
Okay, so 4,
2 and 2.
2 and 2. This guest gave it a 5 out of 5.
Interesting.
Okay.
Despite the AC, she'll stay here again, but the AC is absolutely atrocious and won't be set as low as she wants. I just think the review is like a little contradictive and saying I'm a Raspberry member, I should get this, this, and this, but the AC, but like the Starbucks is nice. Mm-hmm. I'll be staying again for sure.
5 out of 5. That's wild. All right, who's ready? So this review, I'm going to try to say it like the review says it. I booked a king room.
Is this all in caps?
All caps. I booked a king room. I was placed into a double queen. The original room smelled like smoke, and there wasn't another king available. Guess that rating.
My gosh.
1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10?
We're going out of 10.
Dude, this is a 1. Like, this is a 1. It could be a 0 if they could give a 0.
I feel like it should be a 1 based on the tone, but
All caps.
The whole thing was in
Nothing
all
else.
caps.
All caps. That's all they said.
Just yelling at you.
Yes.
4.
All right.
4?
We got 4. We got 1.
I'm giving it a, yeah.
6.
Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Wait.
Was
Was
it a
it
5
5 or a 10?
or a 10?
What?
Out of 10. Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Out of
Okay.
10.
Okay.
I'm still no, I'm staying strong.
Reevaluation?
Nope, I'm staying strong.
No, I'll still stick with 4.
Okay. 8 out of 10.
What?
Literally, there's nothing else on that survey. I was like, what the
Is this from your brand?
Oh, it's from my hotel.
But like, okay. Do you follow up with this guest? Because
We always send follow-up.
but
you have
8 out of
to.
10, you're like, thanks.
No, it's still failing.
You have to.
Oh, 8 out of 10 is still failing.
Still
You
failing.
need a 9 or a 10.
Yes.
Oh, I thought 7 was still failing and
Nope.
8 was a pass.
Oh, another like fun fact. So we just spoke briefly about like the online review sites and then obviously like our internal metrics where I feel like a lot of our guests aren't quite educated on those rating scales. So in particular platforms, some of them will take an overall average, you know, where it's like, okay, you get a 5 for a location, but a 1 for service. It's going to average out to a 3, right? But some of our reviews, depending on the platforms, it has that one key line and that's your score.
Yeah.
And it sticks to it.
Well, and that's exactly what I was going to share. And I was going to build on it because different brands have different philosophies.
Mm-hmm.
And like the one that we are the most familiar with, on their surveys, they present it like it's a 10 scale, when in reality, it's a yes or no. It's true, false.
If it's a 5, it's a false. If it's a 9, it's a true.
Right. And that's the way
And
it
if
works
it's an
on the
8,
backside
it's a
of the
false.
facility. Or
Yep.
the
8 is a
backside of the
false.
form.
I
Literally.
honestly disagree with that rating.
We
so
all
much.
do.
8 is not a fail.
Welcome to the bane of our existence.
I remember
Like-
when 7 was good.
I
Now
know.
8 is bad. I'm
Yes.
like, oh,
Okay, well,
I think
and
there,
that's
can there be a yellow?
no.
Can 7 be a yellow?
Wait, wait,
still-
wait, wait.
Zero.
yellow, but it's still black and white.
But like, can 7 be a you didn't do horrible, but there's room for improvement?
Our brand doesn't believe in that.
So wait.
No. Yes,
Bill.
we do.
Hang on a second.
Yes, we do.
No.
Okay. Time out.
Time out. Penalty on the play. So that is with our brand. Now, there is another brand that I am somewhat familiar with that they have a similar structure. It's 1 out of 10. A 9 or a 10 is a 1. An 8 to a 4 is a 0. A 1 to a 3 is a negative.
Negative.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that they did that.
That's wild. Yikes.
I think it's really, really important that people understand that if you leave a survey for a hotel on Expedia or Booking.com or whatever, there is a negative impact to the hotel.
Yep.
Okay. It does affect the hotel's business. And I'm not saying that if your review is legitimate to not post it. So if you truly have a negative experience, absolutely share it. But before you say, front desk staff was great, hotel was clean, loved the location, but my key stopped working on my 3rd day of my stay, 1 out of 10. Before you do that, just take a moment to reflect on your own review.
Realistic
Yeah.
expectations, you say?
I know,
Like,
shocking.
Things happen.
Common
But-
sense is not that common, guys.
I know, but here's my exception to this, is that that's on those review sites. It has an impact. It's not going to be life-shattering. However, when you get that review from the brand, whether it's Hyatt or Marriott, what have you, when you fill out those surveys and you say that the experience was a 1 out of 10, those surveys legitimately have a direct impact on the people that work at that hotel.
Yes.
GMs lose their jobs on bad surveys. And now, I'm not trying to defend bad GMs, but I am trying to say when you have a review like this, guys, that I shared about the 2 rooms near an elevator, and you give them a 1 out of 10, and the hotel has done everything, but there is something else that's bothering you that you're not putting in that survey or not addressing to the hotel staff, it has a negative impact. I'm going to share one last story with you, and then we can wrap this up for the night. So I got a call the other day. Guy was upset. He wants to know what I can do for them because when they checked in, they had an odor in their room that they felt was unpleasant. and they found that the pillowcase was dirty.
Okay.
So we transferred them from their original room to a different room.
All right.
The next day, they returned to find that they hadn't received service. So he wants compensation. Now,
Well, what time of day did it come back?
in the late afternoon.
Good question.
We
But-
service rooms until 5 p.m.
But here's the thing, is that the brand that I'm with only services rooms every other day. Unless you
Okay.
request it, it's service every second day.
Okay.
He didn't know this. Front
like
desk
his
explained it.
I'm like, why not?
Front desk explained it. He didn't hear it. So he says, I want compensation. And I said, well, I'm a little confused at the request because you identified that there was an issue upon arrival. We transferred you from one room to another to make it right. I understand that you felt that you should have received service on your second day, but that's not the brand standard. Well, I think I should be compensated, he says. So I offered to take 10% off the guy's bill. And I said, you know what? Normally for a situation like this,
No.
we strive to make it right. You had an issue in your initial room. We transferred you to another room. You felt that room was perfect for your needs. I'm sorry that you didn't receive service. That is a brand standard. So normally in a situation like this, I wouldn't offer compensation. But you know what? I understand that you're upset. I want to make this right for you. So I'm going to give you 10% off. So he says to me, I think you should do better than that.
Oh, then you get nothing. I hate that.
Yep.
So I said to him, I said, well, my first option of compensation for you is to offer you the 10%.
Resolution. Yeah.
I said, you know, you're bringing something to me a day after your departure that occurred on the day of arrival. I can't go verify any of it. I'm taking everything that you're saying at face value.
And I'm still going to offer you 10%.
Yes. And he says, well, I think you should do better. Well, again, now after explaining it to him, I said, you can either take the 10% or my other recourse is to offer you nothing.
Love that so much.
And there was a long pause. And he says,
I'll take the 10%.
10% would be great. I said, fantastic. We'll process that refund for you immediately.
Still left a negative review. Got more compensation.
Oh, I will give this guy nothing more.
Good.
Nothing
That's
more.
always my
I think-
issue.
I think the lesson here is if you're having an issue with your stay, talk about it with the staff in that moment.
Yes.
If you have a problem with your room location, your key isn't working, you didn't get service, talk to the front desk.
And when you're leaving that angry voicemail for the GM late on a Friday night,
They ain't gonna call you back.
and they don't call you back until midday on
Or-
Monday, know it's because they worked Monday through Friday.
Or
yes,
they chase you to your car.
we'll have to tell that story in another pod.
All right. So for those listening, if you have any stories you'd like to share, please send them to us. You can find us at tftsi.com for our website. There is a submission form there if you'd like to share a story, an anecdote.
But we'd appreciate no more marriage proposals in that, please. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Or
yeah.
if you had a negative experience and you're just curious on how somebody could have handled it in
Ooh,
a better way.
I love that.
Yeah. Or if you have questions about how the industry works, or if you want to share an inside tip on how your industry works, you can certainly leave a submission there. You can also email us directly at og3@tftsi.com. That's OG, the number 3 at tftsi.com.
Or if you want to be a part of our homework assignment and finding more reviews that kind of just don't make sense, feel free to take screenshots and send us an email.
That would be awesome. And you can also wish Liz well in her recovery.
Oh, thank you guys. I really appreciate it, and I'm so happy to be back.
And on that note, we will see you again in about 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye, team.